In the bustling streets of downtown Chicago, where the wind whipped through the skyscrapers like a relentless reminder of the city's unforgiving pace, a small boy named Ezekiel huddled against the cold brick wall of a corner store. His tattered jacket barely shielded him from the autumn chill, and his stomach growled louder than the passing traffic. With wide eyes fixed on the milk cartons inside, he mustered the courage to approach a sharply dressed man exiting with a bag of groceries, whispering, "Sir, can I have some milk? I promise to pay you back when I grow up." The man, Ethan Hargrove, paused mid-stride, his polished shoes reflecting the neon sign above. Ethan was no stranger to the city's underbelly. As a self-made tech millionaire who'd built his fortune in app development, he'd seen plenty of panhandlers. But something in the boy's earnest gaze, those big, hopeful eyes framed by dirt-streaked cheeks, struck a chord. "Kid, life's not about promises," Ethan said, his voice steady but kind. He glanced around, noting the indifferent pedestrians hurrying by, and knelt down to the boy's level. "What's your name? And where are your parents?" Ezekiel shifted uncomfortably, kicking at a loose pebble. "Ezekiel. And they're gone. Mom died last year, Dad. He just left." The words tumbled out like a confession, raw and unfiltered. Ethan felt a pang in his chest, memories of his own turbulent youth flashing back. Growing up in a conservative suburb where his sexuality was a secret shame, disowned by his family at 18. He pulled out his wallet, not for cash, but to buy the milk himself. As the cashier rang it up, Ethan added a sandwich and some fruit. Handing the bag to Ezekiel, he said, "Here, no promises needed. Just eat." But that wasn't the end. As Ezekiel devoured the food on the spot, Ethan lingered, asking questions. Where did he sleep? An abandoned warehouse nearby with other street kids. Did he go to school? Sometimes, when he could sneak in. Ethan's mind raced. He couldn't just walk away. He flagged down a cab and convinced Ezekiel to come with him to a nearby shelter he'd funded anonymously through his foundation. "It's safe there," Ethan assured him. "No strings attached." At the shelter, the staff recognized Ethan immediately. His donations kept the place running. They took Ezekiel in, providing a bed, clean clothes, and a hot meal. Ethan visited the next day, and the day after, drawn by an inexplicable pull. He learned Ezekiel was 11, sharp-witted despite his circumstances, with dreams of becoming an engineer. Ethan saw potential, a mirror of his own ambition that had propelled him from rags to riches. But whispers started among the staff. Why was this single, openly gay man so invested in one boy? Ethan's sexuality had been public since his company went viral with an LGBTQ+ advocacy app, but in conservative circles, it fueled suspicion. Weeks turned into months. Ethan petitioned for temporary guardianship, navigating the bureaucratic maze with his lawyers. Social workers scrutinized him, his lifestyle, his motives. "Mr. Hargrove, you're unmarried, and your orientation raises questions about stability," one caseworker said bluntly during an interview. Ethan bristled. "My orientation has nothing to do with my ability to provide a home. I've built an empire from nothing. Stability isn't the issue." But the doubts lingered, amplified by media snippets that painted him as a controversial philanthropist. Ezekiel, oblivious to the undertones, thrived under Ethan's guidance, enrolling in school and excelling in math. As Ezekiel hit his teens, their bond deepened. Ethan mentored him, teaching coding basics in his sleek penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan. Ezekiel's laughter filled the usually silent space, a stark contrast to Ethan's solitary life. Friends warned Ethan, "People will talk. A rich gay man raising a boy? It's a headline waiting to happen." Ethan dismissed it, focusing on Ezekiel's growth. But society's gaze intensified. At a school event, parents murmured, "Isn't that the billionaire? What's his deal with the kid?" Ezekiel overheard, confusion stirring. "Why do they care if you're gay, Ethan? You're like a dad to me." Ethan sighed, sitting Ezekiel down one evening. "Because the world isn't always fair, Ezekiel. Some people think differences make you less capable of love or family." It was a lesson in prejudice, one Ethan had learned the hard way. Ezekiel nodded, but the seed of awareness planted roots. High school brought new challenges. Bullies targeted Ezekiel for his fancy guardian, calling him the charity case. Fights ensued, suspensions followed. Ethan advocated fiercely, donating to anti-bullying programs, but the conflicts escalated. One night, after a particularly brutal taunt about Ethan's sexuality, Ezekiel stormed home. "Why do they hate us? It's not fair." "Us," Ethan echoed, his heart skipping. Over the years, their relationship had evolved into something familial, yet the age gap and Ethan's status invited scrutiny. A local blogger posted an article, "Millionaire's Adopted Son, Philanthropy or Personal Agenda?" It went viral, sparking debates on social media. Supporters praised Ethan's generosity. Critics accused him of grooming or exploiting vulnerability for image. Ethan's board members at his company pressured him. "This could tank our stock. Distance yourself." But Ethan refused, standing by Ezekiel through therapy sessions where the boy grappled with abandonment issues. By Ezekiel's 18th birthday, he'd transformed. Confident, enrolled in college for computer science, thanks to Ethan's scholarship fund. They celebrated quietly, with cake and stories of their first meeting. "You shocked me that day," Ezekiel said, grinning. "Most people ignore kids like me." Ethan smiled, but inside, unfamiliar emotions stirred. Pride mixed with something deeper, a connection that blurred lines. Ezekiel, too, felt it, questioning his own feelings amid college explorations. He confided in a friend, "Ethan's always been there, but lately, it's different." Rumors swelled when Ezekiel moved into Ethan's guest room during breaks. A tabloid snapped photos of them at a pride parade, captioning, "Mentor or more?" Outrage poured in, accusations of power imbalance, age difference exploitation. Ethan's family, long estranged, reached out hypocritically. "This is why we cut you off." Ezekiel defended him publicly on social media, but the backlash hit hard. "Are we wrong?" Ezekiel asked Ethan one stormy night, as thunder rattled the windows. Ethan paused, searching Ezekiel's eyes. "Society says yes because of how we met, our ages, my wealth. But feelings don't follow rules." It was the first acknowledgement of the shift. Their conversations turned intimate, exploring identities. Ezekiel realized he was gay, inspired by Ethan's openness. But the world wasn't ready. Protests outside Ethan's office demanded investigations. Protect vulnerable youth from predatory wealth. The tension peaked at a charity gala. Ethan was honored for his work with homeless youth, but protesters crashed, chanting slurs. Ezekiel stood by his side, but inside, doubt gnawed. "Maybe they're right. You saved me. How can this be equal?" Ethan pulled him aside. "Equality isn't about origins. It's about choice. I chose to help you then. We choose each other now." Yet the conflicts mounted. Ezekiel's college friends urged him to break free. "He's like your sugar daddy. It's creepy." Ethan's colleagues whispered about reputation damage. A lawsuit even emerged from a rival, alleging misuse of foundation funds for personal relationships. Courtrooms became battlegrounds, where lawyers dissected their bond. "Mr. Hargrove, did your assistance come with expectations?" "No," Ethan testified, voice firm. "It came from compassion." Ezekiel took the stand, emotional. "He gave me a life. If love grew from that, is it wrong?" The judge ruled in their favor, but public opinion split. Online forums buzzed with debates. Power dynamics in relationships, the ethics of mentorship turning romantic. As graduation approached, Ezekiel faced a crossroads. A job offer in Silicon Valley tempted him. Independence, away from the shadow of Ethan's wealth. "I need to prove I can stand on my own," he told Ethan, tears in eyes. Ethan nodded, heartbroken but understanding. "Go." "But no, I'll always be here." Ezekiel left, thriving in his new role, but loneliness crept in. Calls with Ethan revealed lingering affection. Months later, he returned for a visit, confessing, "I miss us. Not the help, the connection." They embraced, deciding to navigate the storm together, defying norms. In the end, their story challenged perceptions. A bond forged in hardship, blooming into love amid controversy. But was it truly love, or a product of circumstance? Is a relationship born from inequality ever truly equal?